Microsoft PowerPoint, the enhanced presentation view. In this session, we're going to take a look at working with Microsoft PowerPoint's new features in the presentation view. We have the Winter Wonder presentation available to us. Let's begin. F5 is the keyboard shortcut to start the presentation. As we move through the presentation, you'll notice buttons in the lower left-hand corner. Some of these buttons have been available in the past, but have a slightly different appearance to them. Starting from the left, you can see the Previous button and Next buttons. The next button that you have is the laser pointer. I can select laser pointer and several other options from the pen choices. The laser pointer is simply a pointer on the screen. If I click, it does not advance the presentation. I have to point back to the Previous and Next buttons to change from one slide to the next when using the laser pointer. This is true of some of the other marking options as well. There is a pen tool in addition to the laser pointer under that same button. And if I select the pen tool, I can actually create markup on the screen by drawing or writing with the mouse. I can also change the color, so I can select from different colors if I want to choose different markings. This would be helpful if you are reviewing a presentation for the purposes of changing a product or changing the presentation itself, but you have the group on hand actually viewing the presentation. Again, I cannot click to advance the presentation when I'm using this pen tool. I would have to either escape from the pen by pressing the escape key, or simply right-click on the pen and turn it off. Choose a different option. There are also highlighter and eraser options. So if I navigate back to the slide where I had marked up and choose the eraser option, I can individually erase markings, or I can choose to drag across large portions of the screen and erase. Again, I can press the escape key to return to the normal cursor so that I can advance the slide. The next button that you'll see actually puts the slide sorter view in your presentation. This is helpful if you want to jump from one slide to another. Suppose someone in your presentation asks a question and it would merit you jumping forward or backward in your presentation to skip to the section that they are referring to. You can simply use the slide sorter option to preview a thumbnail of your slides, select the slide that you want, and navigate to it. Then you can continue with regular navigation. The zoom button allows you to zoom in on specific points in the presentation. You can then drag the slide to get a closer look for better detail. When you're done with zooming, pressing the escape key returns you to the normal view and the normal cursor, which then allows you to continue through the presentation. The last button has all of the options that you may have seen previously by right-clicking the menu, and it allows you to navigate to the last viewed slide. You can also choose a custom show if custom shows are available in your presentation, or you can hide the presenter view, which right now you don't see because my screen is not showing the presenter view. But another thing that I can do is come down here to my display settings and actually swap the presenter view and the slideshow view. So now, if I swap that view, you can see the presenter view on my screen, and I can advance to the slide. I can see the next slide coming in the queue and the text that's going to be displayed. You even have some annotation options as well. So if you are delivering a presentation with someone, you can actually note things for yourself or the person who's running the presentation can note this, as well as the person who is delivering the presentation. You have the option of seeing all slides in the presenter view. In my other window, I can't actually see the preview slides. I can still see the presentation running. I can arrow back to the presenter view, and again, you have all of the zoom options, so you have all of the options that the regular presenter would have in the presenter view. Now, when I zoom here, it does display in the presentation screen. So the presenter has the ability to do all of those things using the pointer and so forth from the presenter view. You can also do it directly from the on-screen options. One thing that is different is when I'm in the presenter view, I don't have the option to switch the screens back. You'll notice that when I look at screen, I can do a black screen or a white screen. I can show and hide markup. I can show the taskbar, and I can hide the presenter view. But I cannot swap the screens back. In order to do that, I have to actually go over to the other screen, choose the display settings, and swap the presenter view and slideshow once again. This makes running a presentation between two presenters actually more effective, because the speaker may not actually be running the system. They may just simply be speaking and know what helps or annotations they want. The actual presenter may be someone behind the scenes, or it may be someone who's visible in the room but is actually running the presentation, so the speaker can simply focus on speaking. There are a few other options in the last button that pops up. There is an option to change your arrow from automatic to visible. You can see my arrow as I move around. Or I can change it to hidden, which means that I can move my arrow, but I can't actually see it when I'm in the presentation. If I swap over to the presenter view, my arrow becomes visible. So the presenter is able to still see what's happening on their screen, but the arrow, you do not see that I'm moving it around on the screen. The last thing that you'll notice when I go to exit the show is I'm asked if I want to keep or discard annotations. If you have been using this for the purposes of changing the presentation or changing the product that's being represented by the presentation, then you can keep the annotations for further use directly off of the PowerPoint presentation. You simply click Keep, and they are stored with the file. When I go back to the slide that had annotations on it, you can see they have just been saved as a drawing over top. I can make the changes that were required, and I can then discard or delete that particular drawing item without harming my slide. So those are the new features from the enhanced presentation view.